Hi weaving friends, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a really great day. I'm going to be furthering my little winter wonderland theme, which I already explained in the other video, the winter trees. It's a little bit funny because it's the middle of summer here, but I know a lot of you will enjoy this. And so let's just launch right in. I've started by doing about 4 picks of my background fabric. And my background for this one, I've chosen a lighter blue to go with my snowmen. And we are going to do some pickup. So starting, we're going to be picking up at the front of the heddle. We're going to do 7 up, 6 down, and then 8 up and 6 down all the way across. And there are going to be a total of 9 rows for the snowmen. And then afterwards we can do a little bit of embellishing with some embroidery floss if you have it, or some wool, or you can leave them as they are, it's up to you. So here's a little tip. There is a lot of counting threads in this one, and I also have a thinner reed with thinner threads, and so there are a lot of threads to count through. My tip is to use a knitting needle or something similar, of a similar width, with a little point to help you out in your counting. So for example, first of all I want to do 7 up, so I'm counting 2, 4, 6, 7, and then I'm just popping my knitting needle in there as my marker. Then I've got 6 down, so I'm going to go 2, 4, 6 down, and there we go again. Now it's 8 up, so 2, 4, 6, 8, and 6 down, 2, 4, 6. So when you have a lot of threads like this, and they're finer threads, using something like this is so much easier than getting your fumbly fingers in there and trying to do it that way. Or maybe you've got, you know, those really fancy long fingernails and you can use those to separate them, but you know, I've just got the normal working nails, so this is a good alternative. So let's just keep going right across like that. So now we've picked up all the threads we need to pick up, we'll pop our pickup stick on edge and bring in the yarn that you are using for your snowman, which I presume for you will be white, because I've never seen a snowman of another colour. Pull the pickup stick out, and you can tighten up your yarn if you need to. I usually need to because I'm using wool, and as you know, if you've used wool, it springs back, so it wants to go a little bit looser and I want to keep it tighter. Okay, and chasing that with a row of the background fabric, which for me is the down shed. That's just where my background thread was, on the down shed side. And you want to make sure that the edges loop around each other and catch. And then we're ready for the next row, so heddle back into neutral. You can pop your shuttles out of the way if you've got little side shelves. I find that easier than trying to sit them down on the work because they slip away and get in the way. So our next row is going to be 6 up, 8 down, 6 up, 8 down. Now that is going to be for rows 2, 3 and 4, all exactly the same. So let's get our knitting needle again and count 2, 4, 6, and 8 up. 2, 4, 6, 8. It's also easier to count your threads if you count them near your stick and near the fell of the fabric. 2, 4, 6. So I think you can handle the next few rows on your own, and we'll come back for row 5. I'm finished now my 3 rows that were the same, and that brings us up to row 5, which is 7 up, 6 down to begin with, and then 8 up, 6 down across. 2, 4, Remember the heddle's in neutral when you're picking up in front of the heddle. 6 down, 2, 4, 6, and then we're 8 up, 6 down, 2, 4, 6, 8 up, and 6 down. I'll meet you on the other side. So I've woven row 5 and I'm chasing it with my background now. Okay, back into neutral for row 6. Row 6 is 8 up, 4 down, and then 10 up, 4 down. Yes, you're going to have some long floats at the back of this work. 10, what did I say? Yep, 8 up, 4 down. 2, 4, 6, 8 up, 2, 4 down, and then 10 up, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 4 down. And we keep going all the way across. After row 6, row 7 is just the same, so it's an easy row. Okay, so that's the basic form of the snowman, and for the next part you will need some black, preferably a black that's around the same width as the white, but it doesn't have to be. I have used a thinner black here. And so for our pickup this time we're going to use the black and not the white. We've finished with the white now. We're just going to put his little hat on, and the rest we can do with an embroidery needle. So the next row is row 8, and we're going to do 7 up, 6 down, and then 8 up and 6 down all the way across. So 7 up, 6 down, 2, 4, 6, and then 8 up, 6 down, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6. This is definitely not a fast process, but we're okay with that, aren't we? Because we're weavers and we've got patience, lots of patience. 2, 4, 6, 8, and we will keep going with that. 2, 4. So just a single row of black there. We only really need small scraps of black yarn to do this part, and then we'll trace it with our background thread. Now the last part for the hat, bring your pickup stick back, and we're going to do 9 up and 2 down initially, and then 12 up 2 down for the rest of the way across. All of these instructions will be in the notes, of course. Nine up, 2 down, and then 12 up. I've actually doubled my thread for the last top of the hat just because my black thread is a bit thinner and I felt that one layer of thickness didn't really show well enough. So it's up to you whether you do that or not, depending on the thickness of your yarn. And there we go. All our little guys are lined up and ready for their beauty treatment. Starting with the arms, you're going to need a brown that you like of embroidery floss, and the arms are going to be sticks, of course. So you can, I'm using 4 strands, you can do that if you like, or you can experiment to see what sort of a thickness you like, and just with a tapestry needle and a good knot in the end. So we've got, if you count up from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threads. It's the 5 threads that are kind of the body, and then the 2 threads at the top are the head. So it's out of the body part that we want to come, and I found that it was pleasing to bring them out on top of the 4th body thread, so out of here somewhere. And then you can just stitch it up in a diagonal line. Don't really need to be specific with where exactly it's going, you just want to try and aim to have them look the same. Then once you're at this point, you can come up from another angle somewhere to try and make the crook of the stick, and back into that hole again, and then do the same on the other side. A bit difficult here because I'm doing it right at the edge. And then we can do the same on the other side. Try to come up around the same distance as the first one, so you can kind of just measure across like that. And then one coming up a little way away and back through that same hole, and then the other part, and it's up to you how long or big you make these. Just be aware that you're going to be making 2 sets of arms, so I'm going to try not to have them running over each other. And so on to the next one. So we'll put arms on all of our snowmen, and then we'll come back for the next part. The next thing is to give your snowman a little scarf. Now I just want to talk about putting additional features on. When I was experimenting with these, I did actually try giving some buttons, giving some faces, giving a carrot nose and all of that sort of thing. And I myself could not find an arrangement that was pleasing enough. So I decided to leave their faces blank and just have the features of the hat, the arms and the scarf. If you want to try putting in features on yours, please go ahead and give it a try. But here's how we do a scarf. So remember we had the 2 top stitches for the head. We're going to come up on one side of that, and you can choose whatever color you like for this, and I'm using 6 strands of thread. First of all, give a little loop around his neck, and I'm not pulling these really tight either because I want them to look a little bit flowy. Then I'm coming down over one arm, and I'm going to go back in that same hole that I made up at the neck. And then after this, I'm going to come up again because I want my scarf to look as though it's sort of flapping, or you know, that it looks a bit flexible. Okay, and that's it for the scarf. I think I'm going to do a few different colors, alternate some colors for my scarf, so I'll come back and show you when I'm finished.